the wrong way down the freeway on 121, Drew. I come up the ramp, and I remember as I was going up the ramp, I remember, this seems kind of odd. But I didn't think nothing of it. I kept going. You know how you go up the ramp this way? I was going up the ramp this way. That meant I was going on an off-coming ramp instead of going up an oncoming ramp. Do you understand what I'm saying? The freeway was here. 121, Drew. This way is going to Fort Worth, downtown. This way is going toward our house. Okay, I come up that ramp on one of these side streets right here, and I was going up the ramp, and I can remember. I don't know how I can, but I can remember. This seems odd. But I got on the freeway, Drew, and you know what I seen coming? It was dark. Lots of headlights. And the headlights were like way down the road. I mean, I was so lucky, Drew. I was so lucky. They were way, way, way in the distance. So what I did is I seen that, and I slammed on my brakes, and I spun my Mustang around real fast, which was very dangerous because they could have come up quick enough to hit me. Because your judgment is not good when you're drunk or under the influence. I was very lucky. I slammed on my brakes in the middle of the freeway, Drew, spun my car around, went back down the same ramp that I came up, which was an exit ramp. Went zigzagged into the neighborhoods, went all the way over I sobered up almost instantly, Drew. I was so scared. I realized I'd fucked up. I drove to my dad's grave. Let me ask you this. Do you really think I would go into a cemetery at night? I was terrified. But you know what? That night, I parked my car outside the gate, Drew. I stepped over the fence thing, and I walked in my daddy's grave, and I stood right there by it, and I was crying. And I said, Daddy, I almost got killed tonight, or I almost went to jail, or I almost killed somebody else. I stood there and cried for about 30 or 40 minutes over his grave. I talked to him. I got back in my car. I said, Daddy, you protected me. I know it was you. I know you and God together protected me. But if you can't hear your voice slurring right now, then you know your mind is not working right. Because if you can't look in the mirror and see your eyes all squinted and listen to the way you talk, your ears are open. You can hear me. So I don't understand. I guess I didn't hear things correctly either. Whenever I was messed up, people would all the time, "Oh, are you okay, ma'am?" "Oh, I'm fine. I'm just real tired." I was looking at stuff at a pawn shop. I remember that. I was sitting there and I was asking to see a ring here, and they said me, I was slurring so bad. Freddie told me. I was with him. And he said, "God damn, Diamond." He said, "You can't be going in that pawn shop like that." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're fucked up." I said, "I'm not fucked up." He said, "Yes, you are. You are fucked up." He said, "Them people thought you was fucking on drugs. I guarantee you they knew you was on drugs." That was when I was taking all that damn Xanax, Drew. And then he had a bad habit of every time I'd get mad at him, he'd go, "Take a chill pill, Diamond Lynn. Take a chill pill, baby doll." So every time he'd say, take a chill pill, I'd get pissed off and I'd take one. One or two or whatever I was taking. But Drew, another night that Freddie was with me, I was driving down Belknap Street in Haltom City. You know where Haltom City... Almost killed a motorcycle driver. But I mean, telling you these stories don't do no damn good, Drew, because you have still gotten behind that wheel. You went to Veronica's job the other night. Veronica's not going to lie. Veronica's always taking up for her. "Oh, he's not under the influence. He's not drunk. He's not da-da-da-da-da. I know him." I said, "You don't know him like I do, but you will know him like I do." And then you showed up at her job all fucked up. She's like, "Oh my God, he's fucked up. What am I going to do now? He's got to go home." And when he goes home, well, number one, she didn't want nobody seeing you like that up there at her job. That probably embarrassed the shit out of her. Because they automatically thought you were a druggie. And that embarrassed her. So, and then number two, she knew you had to get back in the car and drive back home, knowing that you could get killed or kill somebody else or go to jail. One of the three. You're losing everything around you, Drew. You're losing your job. You may lose your girlfriend. I don't know if you want to lose her or not, but I mean, if you're trying to lose her, you're sure as hell going about it the right way. And if you're trying to keep her, you're going about it the wrong way, Drew. I don't know how many talks I've had with you. It don't do no good. All you think about is the next high. And I've noticed it. Like I said, it's a pattern, Drew. Every single month, when your payday comes, at the end of the month, you get your paycheck, like the day before you get on the 1st, you're off that shit. You don't take that shit. You know why you don't take it? Because you go and you buy a bunch of pain pills when you get your check at the end of the month. And you can't lie to me because I already know. Because the energy changes. Like right now, you're like this. But whenever you get a bunch of them pills, you're like, alert. You could bounce a tire, Drew. You could do anything. Because they give you energy. But the thing is, if you take too many of them, they make your heart do this, Drew. And your heart is wearing out right now. The more you take of that shit, all them energy drinks, pain pills, all that shit, it's bad on your heart too, Drew. Your mother's got a heart condition. Your daddy's got a heart condition. It runs in the family, Drew. Grandma Carol had a heart condition. Grandpa Carol, he died of a stroke. Grandma died, she had a heart condition when she died. Grandma Shirley had congested heart failure, just like me when she died. It runs in the family, Drew. Your dad's had to have, stents put in or something? He's got a bad heart.
He's had a triple bypass.
Okay, well, he could have died on the table, Drew. He's so bad off, he could have died on that table. You could have got a call from his girlfriend. I'm sorry, but your dad, he passed away today. That day's coming, Drew. One of these days, you're either going to see me dead at the house, or Jimmy's going to find me or something, or I'm going to die somewhere or something. They're going to call you up and say, your mom passed away, Drew. I'm so sorry to hear that. That day's coming. People told me about your mom. That day's coming. Your dad, your grandma. That day's coming. It don't register. Because in your mind, you think that day is never going to happen. Well, it will. And that day's going to happen with you sooner if you don't listen to what I'm telling you, Drew. And you don't start taking those nighttime meds again until you run out of money. When you run out of money, Drew, and you ain't got no money, then you say, well, what am I going to do now? I'm going to be fucked. I want to take something to feel good.
Mom, I don't take my night meds to feel good.
I'm telling you, Drew.
I take my night meds regardless if I'm on hydrocodone or not.
Okay, well, you know what? You don't take them at the beginning of the month.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, because you're not fucked up like this.
Yes, I do.
Drew, I'm telling you right, you don't take them.
Mom, they just changed my medication. They just changed it.
Why would you let them change it back to something that you've already been on, that you're aware of, that you know?
They just changed it. And I didn't take the lithium last night.
Okay, well, you said you thought it was a lithium. You're still fucked up this morning, Drew. You can't go to work like that. If you can't hear yourself slurring, you come in here and say, hey, Mom, am I slurring this morning? I'll tell you the truth, Drew. I'm not going to lie to you. I guess you forgot what it's like to be in jail, Drew. Don't you remember how it sucked? And every year that goes by, it gets worse, Drew. They treat you like shit. I've been to jail, Drew. I went to the place in Mansfield. It was like the Rock, Drew. I tell you one thing, it was bad. They put me in this nasty, filthy, dirty, stinking cell that had these little ledges all along the concrete. They didn't have no beds in there. They had about 10 women in there. There was concrete ledges. And they had me in a suit because I guess I threatened to kill myself or whatever, which I love me too damn much to do that. I might accidentally do it, but I'm not going to do it on purpose. Believe me, I've thought about it, but I won't. But they had me in a bodysuit thing, and it was so heavy I couldn't even get up. It was one of those anti-suicide suits or whatever. No clothes on under it. And it was too big for me. It was falling off of me. And they said, don't worry about your food. Whenever it comes, we'll get your tray for you. And I said, okay, thanks. I appreciate that. You should have seen this. They bring the trays, Drew. And there's like 10 women in there, okay? One of them is on her period, don't have a pad, and bleeding all over the damn concrete. The toilet's got blood all over it, filthy. I've got to piss. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm about ready to just piss in the floor because I don't want to sit on that toilet. They bring the food tray. They got blood all, I mean, they open up the door and she takes trays off. Two or three of them take the trays off, Drew, the lids. And they go like this. They move the food around from one tray to the next, Drew. And they bring me what's left. Here you go, ma'am. I said, you know what? I'm not even hungry. Y'all eat it. If I was in a holding cell, though, Drew. But if they'd have kept me in there, I don't know what I'd have done. I guess I'd have starved to death. And then I pushed the button. They said, can we help you? And I said, do you have any idea? I said, man, we don't have any idea about anything. If it's not an emergency, don't bother us. Then they put me in jail one time. I was standing in line, or they wanted everybody to stand in line for the payphone. There was a payphone in the cell, Drew. There was about 6, 7 women in there, maybe 8. And I'm sitting in there and I had my drawer towel on. That was the time I went to jail with my pajamas on. No bra, no panties, just my pajama pants and shirt. Hugo went to jail too. They put me in there. And I needed to use the phone. And they said, well, you got to get in line to do that. I said, no, I'm not going to stand in line. They said, well, you got to get in line if you're going to use the phone. I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to stand in line and wait on y'all yik-yakking on the phone. I said, I'm going to sit in line. You're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3, you're number 4, you're number 5. I was number 8. Okay? I said, when number 8 comes, or what number 3 or whatever. I can't remember what number it was. When that number comes, I'm going to get in line and I'm going to use that phone. They didn't say nothing. Okay? My number came up. I stood up, woman grabbed that phone. I said, no, ma'am. I said, it's my turn. I already told everybody in here what their number was. It's my turn, and I'm using the phone. I grabbed it out of her hand. I was willing to fight for that fucking phone, Drew. I didn't give a damn. And that's a low short shit. People in there, tall, big old black women and everything. I didn't care. I could have got my damn teeth knocked out, Drew. But I didn't give a damn. And then I walked into this other cell in North Richland Hills when they arrested me. And there was a black woman laying there with her hair all sticking out and bushy and everything. And she raises up. There's 2 bunks. She raises up and she looks at me. And I remember what Daddy said. Daddy said, don't act like you're scared. Because if you act like you're scared, they will fuck you up. He said, I don't care if you're a little short woman or not. He said, if you act like you're tough and you don't take no shit off nobody, they'll leave you the fuck alone. He said, I know. I used to run the jail. So I walk in there and I see her raise her head up and look at me. And I've got my wool blanket that they gave me. No pillow. Just my mattress and my wool blanket, Drew. And I said, you know what? When she raised her head up and she looked at me, I said, you know what? I said, this ain't nothing but a bunch of fucking bullshit. And I slammed my mattress down like I was tough. Rolled up that end. She could tell I'd been to jail before because she rolled up the end to make me a pillow. They don't give you no pillow. You know that. And I took my piece of shit blanket and I said, I don't want this piece of shit because it feels like wire. And I threw it on the floor and I laid down there and I shut up and didn't say another word. She left me the fuck alone. She's like, what the fuck did they just put in here? I was mean, Drew, to be such a little old short woman. But my dad told me all this shit. And then I went to Haltom City Jail one time. I've been in jail about 8 times, Drew. Went to Haltom City Jail one time. The very jail that my dad used to work in. The very same one. Put me in there. I think this was the second time I went to jail. The first time was North Richland Hills. Second time I went to jail. They put me in there. It was because Jimmy Fuller, Scott's dad, lied and said I was going to drag him into a dark alley and kill him. Okay, Jimmy's like 6 feet tall. I'm 5'3". At the time, I was about 180 pounds. Wasn't that big compared to what I am now, little. They put me in there, and I'm crying because, they put me in a cell by myself, so I wasn't doing this in front of anybody else. And I sat there and I talked to Daddy. He was already dead. And I sat there and I said, Daddy, I said, I was crying. I was talking to him, and I was telling him, I said, Daddy, I know that you're here with me right now. I really need you to be here with me right now. And I was talking to him. And the man comes up to the window. He says, medication time. And he goes to give me my medicine. And I said, well, what do I have to drink? And there was a little water fountain on the back of the toilet. I looked at him. I said, sir, I'm a lady. Please. I'm begging you, please. Don't make me a lady. I'm not just a woman. I'm a lady. Don't make me drink off the back of that water fountain. I said, I'm in here under false pretense, and as soon as I'm proven innocent, I will be out of here. I said, but I'm begging you, please. Don't make me drink off the back of that water fountain. And he was probably about my age. And he said, all right, ma'am. He said, we don't normally do that. But he said, for you, since you asked me so nicely, he said, I will go and get you a cup of water. And he goes and gets me a little Dixie cup with water and brings it to me. And I said, thank you so much. But if there had been other women in there, I wouldn't have been able to break down like that. And then I remember another time I was in jail. It was medication time. Hey, Karen, that was when I was on my Xanax. This guy didn't even look at the bottle to see what I was supposed to take. He walks up to me and he goes, this is when I was still a druggie. He goes, it's medication time. And everybody starts standing around, to get their medicine and shit. And he goes, you, was it Fuller? Yeah, you, Fuller, come here. Or no, it was Lancaster. I don't remember. It was one of the two. Come here. And it's time to take your medicine. So I walk over there to the deal, and he goes, this is Xanax. He goes, how many you take of these? And I said, I take 3 of those. He goes, okay. So he gives me 3 2-millimeters. 3 of them, which fucked me up because I was so little. And then he says, Somas, he goes, how many of these you take? I take 4 of those. And then he goes, okay. And then he goes, and then hydrocodones. He goes, how many you take of these? I said, I take 3 of those.
You were high as a kite.
I was, Drew. And you know what? It could have killed me. It could have killed me, Drew, but I took too many. It could have killed me. I took them, and I passed out, Drew, and I didn't wake up for 8 hours. They were beating on the thing. Fuller, time to get up. Come on, time to get out of here. Release time. And they had to wake me up. I was on a mattress on the floor right next to the toilet, Drew. I was passed out. I hated it, Drew. I remember every single time I went to jail, I hated it. Don't you remember being in that jail and me coming to visit you and you were completely sober? You didn't have nothing in your system. You hadn't been that way since you come home from the Army. You sat there and you talked to me and I talked to you. Your belly's getting big, Drew. Your belly is getting big. Your face is filling out. You're getting fat again, Drew. You may not even fit in your uniform when you go back if you keep it up. You better listen to me. All that eating and shit, the pills are fucking you up, making you eat.
So what do you think I should do? Stop taking them?
Of course.
Don't take them at all?
No, you can't. You can't go to work like that. You can't, Drew.
Can't go to work tired?
You know what? Yeah, you can. You go to work, you work your day.
Mom, my job is a fast-paced environment.
Drew, you can't work like that. Do you think you're fast-paced right now?
I can be.
Do you think you're taking those pills to help you get some rest so you can work? No, you're going to work fucked up. You have no energy, Drew. You have 0 energy right now. That's why. Are you okay over there, Drew? Andrew, are you? I don't know what they say to you, but you know what I'm talking about. You have got to get off that shit. You got to tell the doctor when you go see him, Drew. You got to say, look, I can't function like this. Say, I need something to help me, but I can't function like this. And whatever they give you, you got to take it exactly the way they say, Drew. Don't overtake it.
I don't.
Because they're already giving you strong shit to begin with because you're so big.
I don't overtake my meds.
Well, you know what? Desiree told me you did.
No, I don't know more.
She said there was, okay, no more, okay? But the thing is, when they prescribe...
you want to see my bottles?
Listen to me.
I got bottles upon bottles.
Okay, you need to get rid of all that shit. You need to get rid of all of that. You can't throw it in the regular trash. You have to look up on your phone the next time to surrender your medications because it gets into the sewer system if you throw it in the trash can or you throw it down the toilet. It gets in the sewer system, which Our drinking water, believe it or not, comes from that. They cleanse it and clean it and all that. And we're drinking everybody else's piss and shit through all the years. I hate to say it, but that's what it is. But it's true. It's true, Drew. And first time I heard about that, I said, I'll never drink water again. Well, if that's the case, I wouldn't be eating again because everything that prepared or in a can or whatever is packed with that water. I would die. So, you got to listen to me, Drew. You tell that doctor that you can't function, and tell him it's making you gain weight, and you're getting shortness of breath again. You can't be on something that's going to make you gain weight, Drew.
I'm probably 240, 250 right now.
Go away. Scales in the bathroom.
I was at 225.
Okay, well you ain't now. I promise you.
I was at 220.
You're about 235, 240 right now. Jimmy, let him in there so he can get those scales.
In where?
Who's in the bathroom? Sherry?
Ain't me.
Sherry, you in the bathroom? Hurry up so Drew can get the scales. Yeah, you're bring the scales in here and put them on this floor and weigh right over here. I'm telling you, Drew. I've gained about 10 or 15 pounds myself eating all this shit.